All right, Shane, we got to move it along here. So the other big night game here, Penn State wins at home. My God, hey, did you know it was a whiteout? I only heard that about 50,000 times by the ABC crew, but 28-20. And, I hate to put the whole game on the last basically call there for Auburn because who knows if they would have even scored the 2-point conversion. But, really questionable fade call pass on 4th and short there. And my God, the receiver tripped. It never even had a hope and a prayer. But considering Auburn's success on the ground, considering they got a man by the name of Tank Bigsby, you got a guy named Tank. You got to give him the ball with the game on the line in some form or fashion. And they didn't get it done there. There was the big first, I think it was the very first play of the second half. Auburn tried to do a trick play, and it blew up. It was a receiver pass. He fumbled, and Penn State scored a touchdown right after that, after getting the turnover. And it kind of felt like that was the defining moment of the game. But again, moral victories that they don't count much for in football. We all know that, but again, I think Auburn is going to gain some respect from this, and now we find out how they respond after being tested and falling short on the road against Penn State. What was your main takeaway on this one?
I think this game single-handedly changed the word targeting. I think they use this one. I think they use this video, and we get a rule change next year, Mike. That's how impactful I think some of the calls were in this game. And you're right, man. Everybody wanted. It felt like you're listening. And I'm not trying to get on the commentaries or anything like that, but it just felt like they wanted Penn State to win. They want Penn State to be good. And I'm telling you right now, Mike, they are not good. Auburn went up there and about beat them, and they should have. I don't know what that fade thing was, and honestly, it shouldn't have came down to that. This team was being physical on both sides of the ball, and they got away from that, and they put it in Bo Nix's hands, and Bo Nix is still Bo Nix, man. And I'll give credit. I want to give credit to this guy's Bobby Big Wheel. He put out a tweet earlier today. It says coaches who are about to call a goal line fade, and this girl says, "Well, did it work for those people?" And the guy says, "No, it never does. These people somehow delude themselves in thinking it might, but it might work for us." I'm here to tell you right now, Mike, that damn play does not work. And even Kurt told you, you're put it up against their best defender. I don't understand that. You take advantage of Bo Nix's. If you're not going to give it to two of the running backs that are averaging 5 yards a carry, then put it in Bo's. What is he good at? He's good at scrambling and making something happen. Don't put him back there in the pocket and try to get him to thread a dime, because it ain't going to happen.
Right.
Not at Penn State. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm having flashbacks to, I think it was A&M, where he's flipping guys off him, and he went Terminator, and I think he made the entire defense miss on his way to the end zone. So, yeah, that is clearly Bo Nix's strength. But one of the weaknesses, surprising weakness, I thought, so much hype under Derek Mason and his defense. They allowed Penn State 85% completion and a lot of busts. That is just some of the busts were just baffling here. And I was listening to Nathan King, who's been on the show, Auburn Undercover, his podcast. He went back and looked at the stats, and he said the stats he had only go back to 1995, and this was the highest completion percentage Auburn has ever allowed going back to 1995. So that's got to be a huge issue, because this Penn State quarterback, I'm not trying to sell him completely short, but it's not like he was anything special. Like I'm saying, these guys were wide ass open on a lot of these plays. So I've never even
just guard the tight end, Mike. Just guard the tight end. You'll be all right.
They had.
Did you know they have three of them? 3 athletes up there at the time. Shut up, Kurt.
And apparently they have Joey Porter Jr. I had to hear that 20,000. I was thinking, what about Bo Nix's dad, Tank's dad? Why we got to single out Joey Porter Jr.? But
exactly.
Yeah, that was on and on and on. You know what?
Yeah, it's just like I said, they wanted them to win that game, and the fact that they. Don't get me wrong. Auburn is they're on the up and coming, okay, but they ain't there yet, man. And to sit over there and just, I cannot stand James Franklin, man. Him at the end of that damn game, I was like, God, I'd love to send the Gators up there. I'd love to send Alabama because right now they think they're on the top of the world, man. They got a new coach, a new program, and I guarantee you right now, Bryan he's had nightmares wanting to redo that last play. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of things he'd like to change. And I think if they could have that opportunity and they met again, they're beating Penn State. And I know that's the easy cop, but I'm telling you, this program is better than the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, and my final thing on this, Shane, that the play where the receiver, it was a pass and he fumbled, and you may say, why in the hell are you running that with an inexperienced guy? But they said they saw something. We'll get to Harsin's comments here in a second, but I actually love the fact that they're willing to gamble, because that's what you got to do on the road. A relatively young / inexperienced Auburn team with a new coaching staff. And I think that's the coaching staff swinging big. And I want my coach, particularly a first-year guy, to show confidence in his team, to try to make these huge plays rather than playing conservative. Because when you get into the SEC, when you're facing Georgia, when you're facing Alabama, good luck, brother, if you're going to play it conservative. You have got to swing big. And, it obviously didn't work. It blew up on them. But I credit the fact that they went up there, just like he said, they went to win. They didn't go to just have a good showing. You know what?
That's right. They didn't leave out. They had no intentions of making this a ball game. They had intentions of winning. And like I said, they're watching that film just like you and I have, just like everybody has, and they're picking out the mistakes that they made along the way. And it caught them, and you just couldn't afford to do that this early in the season.
Yes, Bryan. Back to that fourth down play there late in the fourth. Was the play to go to Kobe Hudson, or was it a play where you get lined up and Bose just sort of picks the best opportunity that he sees? And how do you feel like it came out there?
Well, it's a little more calculated than that, but there are 4 options on it. There's really 5, and Kobe was one of them. I just saw the kind of the first of the play, the ball went up and he was out of phase with where the throw was. But to answer your question, yes, there's 5 possibilities on that play right there. So we give ourselves the best chance to get somebody in the end zone. I don't know. I'd go back and before I make any comment on, was that the right decision? You got to go back and watch and see, where the progression starts. And that's really the one thing at the quarterback position. Sometimes those plays don't work out, and the main question is, well, he made the wrong read. Not necessarily. Sometimes either it's a route, it's the defense doing a good job in their coverage. And so we'll assess that tonight as we watch the film on the plane. We'll look at it and make corrections tomorrow. But ultimately, you want to give yourself a better chance in that situation right there. I don't know if that was a decision, but we've run that thing quite a few times. We made some really good plays on it. So, I trust that what he saw out there, we'll look at it and we'll learn from it and we'll go from there.
Hey, Bryan, can you sort of take us through what the sort of the play call process is on that timeout with the 4th down at the goal line? Is it you and Bobo who has the play ready? And just sort of take us through the decision on that, please.
Yeah, we talk about it. Everybody kind of gives their input, and then we have those plays are pre-planned and scripted in those areas. So those are things that you work on, and I got to go back and look at it on exactly what happened. Obviously, we didn't execute it or get the play out result that we wanted. So, but those are things that you go into a game plan, and believe it or not, you actually spend time on it, working through it, and going through the different scenarios and get to that moment. That's the play selection that you have and what you choose. So we went to that menu of plays, and it didn't hit like we wanted it to.
Yeah, Bryan, what do you feel like you learned about your team tonight?
I think there's a lot. I didn't see anybody that was on the field. Nobody quit. All right, everybody was locked in on the sideline. As far as we brought them over there, we had to make decisions and adjustments and those things. and then there's plenty of work to do. I mean, that's one thing. And, just, this loss, I mean, it should burn. We came here and we played a really good Penn State team on the road, and we give ourselves an opportunity to go win the game. Those are games that you want to win. Those are games that we came here to win. We didn't come here just to play and be in the game. We came here to win the game. And, that's going to be the mindset with everybody around in this program, not just showing up and playing well, but finding a way to win. And, the road is a big part of that. You want to be a championship team, you got to win on the road. Half your games are on the road. Ultimately, from this point on, what do we do tomorrow? What's the attitude? What's the focus? What's the effort that we're going to get from this team? I mean, I think there's a lot of guys in that locker room that are disappointed, and we all should be. And I think it's something that you want to absorb and take in, and then you do everything in your power to figure out a way to not let that happen again. And